I carried heavy books every day believing someone would notice my struggle. But when I tripped and fell, everyone walked past me without care. My name doesn't matter. What matters is what I did to Sarah. We'd been together for 6 years. Engaged for 8 months. She was the kind of person who remembered coffee order after meeting once. Who would drive across town to bring soup when we're sick. Who believed in people even when they didn't deserve it. Especially when they didn't deserve it. The metaphor in my title isn't really about books. It's about the weight of expectations I put on. The pressure to be perfect, successful. Noto's working 60-hour weeks at a consulting firm, trying to make partner before 35. Sarah understood, she always understood. When I missed dinners, when I forgot our anniversary dinner reservations, when I snapped at her cause I was stressed about a presentation. We're working so hard, she'd say, rubbing my shoulders. I'm proud of. But I didn't feel proud. I felt invisible, overlooked. Like I was carrying this massive burden and no one at work really saw how much I was sacrificing. My boss gave promotions to guys who played golf with clients. Who schmooze at happy hours while I stayed late fixing their mistakes. That's when Emma started at the firm. She noticed. She saw me staying late, saw me stressed, saw me trying so hard. And she said all the things I was desperate to hear. Her brilliant know that. I can't believe they don't see potential. Deserve so much better than how they treat. It started innocent. Coffee conversations about work frustrations. Then lunch meetings that went a little too long. Then text messages that had nothing to do with work. I told it was just friendship. Just someone who finally understood the pressure I was under. Sarah couldn't understand, she was a teacher, had normal hours, normal stress. Emma got it. Emma saw my struggle. The first time Emma touched my hand during one of our coffee talks, I should have pulled away. Instead, I felt this rush of validation I hadn't felt in months. Someone saw me. Someone appreciated me. Fiancé is lucky to have someone so dedicated. Emma said, but her eyes were saying something different. I should have ended it then. Should have realized that the heaviness in my chest wasn't from overwork. It was guilt, but I didn't. I kept meeting her. Kept texting. Kept telling it was just friendship even as it clearly wasn't. The night it happened, Sarah had made my favorite dinner. Roast, mashed potatoes, the works. She'd gotten off work early, cleaned the apartment, lit candles. When I walked in, she smiled so bright to look at. Surprise. I know been stressed, so I thought we could have a nice quiet evening. I should have stayed. Should have held her, told her I loved her, appreciated what she was doing for me. Instead, my phone buzzed. Emma texting that she was at the hotel bar near our office, feeling lonely, hoping I could stop by for just one drink. I looked at Sarah, at the dinner she'd made, at the engagement ring on her finger that I'd saved for months to buy. I'm sorry, emergency at work, big client issue. I'll be back in a few hours. The lie came so easily it terrified me. Sarah's face fell but she nodded. Of course, I'll keep dinner warm. I her forehead and left. Left her sitting at that candlelit table. Left the we'd built together. Left the person who loved me unconditionally. I went to that hotel bar. Had that drink. Listened to Emma tell me how special I was, how much she admired me, how she'd never met anyone like me. And when she suggested we go to her room, I said yes. I said yes because I felt invisible everywhere else in my. Because I was carrying so much weight and no one seemed to notice. Because Emma made me feel important, desired, appreciated. But here's what I learned too late: when you're drowning in own selfishness, don't notice we're pulling someone else under with. 3 hours later I came home. Sarah had fallen asleep on the couch, still in the nice dress she'd put on for our dinner, a plate of cold food on the coffee table beside her. I stood there looking at her peaceful face, knowing I'd just destroyed everything good in my. The weight I'd been carrying was nothing compared to what I just loaded onto my shoulders. I thought I was so clever, so careful. That Sarah would never find out, that I could compartmentalize this mistake and move on. But secrets are like cancer, they grow, they spread, they destroy everything healthy around them. I had no idea that in 2 weeks my entire world would collapse, that Sarah would find out in the cruelest way possible. That the consequences would ripple through every relationship, every friendship, every aspect of my. I had no idea that the heaviness I'd been feeling was nothing compared to the crushing weight of losing the only person who'd ever truly seen me and loved me anyway. The books I thought I was carrying, they were nothing. The real weight was the lies. And that weight was about to bury me alive. 2 weeks, that's how long I thought I was safe. 2 weeks of coming home to Sarah's smile, of her asking about my day, of her planning our wedding like nothing had changed. 2 weeks of me pretending I was the same person she fell in love with. I wasn't sleeping, couldn't eat. Every time Sarah touched me, I flinched, not because I didn't love her but because I knew I didn't deserve her love anymore. She noticed, of course she did. Seem off lately, she said one morning, making my coffee the way she always did. 2 sugars, splash of cream. I's work, still stressing out. Work, the perfect excuse. I nodded, hating more with every lie. Maybe we should plan a weekend away, she said, sitting across from me at our kitchen table. Just us, no work, no stress. We haven't done that in months. The way she looked at me with such hope, such love. Like I was still the man she wanted to marry. That sounds perfect. I said, the words ash in my mouth. But there was no weekend away. Because that afternoon my world ended. I was in a meeting when my personal phone buzzed. Sarah never called during work hours unless it was an emergency. My stomach dropped as I stepped out to answer. We need to talk. Her voice was ice. Come home. Now, the drive home was the longest 20 minutes of my. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely grip the steering wheel. I tried calling her back but she wouldn't answer. I knew. Deep down, I knew it was over. Sarah was sitting at our kitchen table when I walked in. The same table where she'd made me coffee that morning. The same table where we'd planned our future together hundreds of times. But now there was something else on that table. Her laptop. And on the screen was Emma's social media page. Pictures from 2 weeks ago, hotel bar. Emma with her arm around someone just out of frame. The timestamp showing the exact night I told Sarah I was working late. Funny thing, Sarah said, her voice eerily calm. Emma posted these yesterday. Tagged the location. I recognized it because mentioned having drinks there with clients last month. My throat closed. I couldn't speak, so I looked closer. She clicked to another photo. This one showed more of the bar. And there, clear as day, was the back of my head. My distinctive jack. The one Sarah had bought me for my birthday. I called the hotel. She continued, still in that terrible calm voice. Asked if they had any record of business meetings that night. They don't host corporate events on weekdays. The room was spinning. This wasn't how she was supposed to find out. This wasn't supposed to happen all. Sarah, I can explain. Explain what? The calm cracked. Her voice broke. Explain how lied to my face. How left me sitting at that dinner table like and while we're with her. She knew about the dinner. Of course she remembered. It's not what think. She slammed the laptop shut. Don't dare insult me more by lying again. I'd never seen Sarah angry before. In 6 years she'd never raised her voice. She was always patient, always understanding, always willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. But now she was looking at me like I was a stranger. Like I was something she'd found on the bottom of her shoe. I loved, she whispered. I trusted completely. I was planning our wedding, picking out flowers, imagining our together. And were. She couldn't even say it. The word hung in the air between us. I said desperately, one mistake. It didn't mean anything. I love Sarah. Only point. She laughed. Actually laughed. But it was the most broken sound I'd ever heard. A mistake. Think this was some accident. Made a choice to lie to me. A choice to meet her. A choice where she shook her head. A choice to throw away everything we built together. We can work through this. Couples therapy, whatever need. Stop. She pulled off her engagement ring. Set it on the table between us. Just stop. That ring. I'd worked overtime for 3 months to afford it. Had planned the proposal for weeks. When I'd gotten down on one knee in the park where we'd had our first date, she'd cried happy tears. Now she was looking at it like it was. I need to leave, she said. Sarah, please. Jeet owed. She was shouting now, tears streaming down her face. Get out of my apartment. Get out of my apartment. The lease was in her name. Her furniture, her home. I'd just been living in her world and now I was being expelled from it. I went to our bedroom, some clothes in a bag. Everything felt surreal. Like I was watching someone else's fall apart. When I came back to the living room, Sarah was on the phone. Yes, mom. The wedding's off. No, I don't want to talk about it. He cheated, I know. I know. Hearing her tell her mother broke something inside me. Sarah's mom had welcomed me into their family like a son. Had already ordered her dress for the wedding. Had been so excited to finally have a son-in-law. Now she was finding out what kind of man I really was. I stood there with my pathetic bag of clothes, waiting for Sarah, hoping for one last chance to fix this. But when she looked at me again, her eyes were empty. I never want to see again, she said quietly. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't come to my work. Don't contact my friends or family. Sarah, promise me, she said. Promise me you'll just disappear from my. What choice did I have? I destroyed everything. I'd lost the right to for her. I promise, I whispered. I walked out of that apartment knowing I'd never walk back in, knowing I'd lost the love of my cause I was too selfish and weak to appreciate what I had. But the worst part, I thought the pain of losing Sarah was rock bottom. I had no idea how much further I could fall. Because the next morning I woke to 47 missed calls. Sarah hadn't just told her mother. She'd told everyone. Her friends, her coworkers, her family, and they told everyone they knew. By noon the entire city knew what I'd done. Social media was brutal. My own friends were distancing themselves. My coworkers were avoiding me. Emma. She'd transferred to another branch the day after Sarah confronted me. Left me to face the consequences alone. I thought I'd been carrying heavy books before. But this weight was crushing me and there was no one left to notice my struggle. Because when betray the one person who truly saw, everyone else just sees for what really are someone who doesn't deserve to be helped when they fall. Know what's worse than losing the person love? Finding out who really are when everyone else finds out too. 3 days after Sarah kicked me out, I was staying in a cheap mall that smelled like disinfectant and broken dreams. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing, not with people checking on me, with people telling me what they thought of me. Sarah's best friend Jessica had posted a long Facebook rant. She didn't mention my name, but everyone knew. Some people will destroy the most beautiful thing in there just to feel important for 5 minutes. My heart is broken for my girl who gave everything to someone nothing. 267 likes, 89 comments, all agreeing. All sharing their own stories of betrayal, all painting me as the villain in every woman's nightmare. My own sister called me crying. How could do this to Sarah? She was going to be my sister. I already loved her like family. Even my sister chose Sarah over me, and honestly, I couldn't blame her. But the social media shame was nothing compared to what happened at work. Monday morning, I walked into the office trying to pretend everything was normal. But the whispers stopped when I passed. People avoided eye contact. My assistant, who'd been friendly for 2 years, was suddenly cold and professional. By lunch I understood why. We need to talk. My boss Richard called me into his office. His expression was stone cold. The Morrison account called this morning, he said. They're requesting a different team lead. Morrison was my biggest client, the account that was supposed to make my career. They didn't give a reason but. He slid his phone across the desk. Facebook was open to a post from Morrison's CEO's wife. Apparently their wives are friends. The post was a screenshot of Jessica's rant, shared with the captioning, "This is why I only work with companies that reflect our family values." My stomach dropped. Richard, I can explain. Because 3 more clients called after Morrison. All requesting new team leads. All women who somehow heard about personal situation. Sarah worked at an elementary school. She knew everyone. Teachers, administrators, parents. And parents talked to other parents, who talked to their spouses who happened to be my clients. This is my private, I said desperately. It has nothing to do with my work performance. Richard laughed bitterly. Private cost us 4 major accounts in one morning. Private is now our business problem. The weight in my chest was suffocating. What are saying? I'm saying we're restructuring role. We'll be handling internal projects only. No client contact. And obviously, the partnership track is off the table. Everything I'd worked for, gone. Because I thought I was carrying such heavy books but all I'd been carrying was my own selfishness. I need this job. I said, should have thought about that before, decided comfort was more important than integrity. Emma was long gone by then. Transferred to the West Coast office the day after everything exploded. Blocked my number, deleted me from social media. Like our friendship, our connection had never existed. She got to disappear, start fresh, new city, new colleagues who didn't know what she'd done me. I was trapped in the consequences. The worst part wasn't losing clients or promotions. It was realizing that every relationship in my had been built on Sarah's foundation. Our friend group was really her friend group. Our weekend plans were things she organized. Our social existed because she was likable, trustworthy, kind. Without her I was nobody. The wedding invitations had already been sent. Sarah's mom called every guest personally to tell them the wedding was cancelled. Not postponed, cancelled. Because the groom had decided to throw away his for something meaningless. I ran into Sarah's dad at the grocery store 2 weeks later. This man who had welcomed me into his family, who'd taught me how to change my oil, who'd clapped me on the back and said he was proud to have me as a son-in-law. He looked right through me. Like I was invisible. "Miss Thompson," I said. He stopped, turned. And the disappointment in his eyes was worse than anger would have been. "I trusted with my daughter's heart," he said quietly. "I believed we're the kind of man who would protect it. I was. I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to take out the trash. What did was a choice. A series of choices. All selfish." He started to walk away, then stopped. "She's seeing a therapist now. Did know that? My strong, confident daughter needs therapy because she doesn't trust her own judgment anymore. Because she wonders what she did wrong to deserve being betrayed by the person she loved most." Each word hit like a physical. "Didn't just break her heart," he continued. "Broke her belief in love. In trust. In herself. That's not something that heals." He walked away, leaving me standing in the cereal aisle, crying like a child. That's when it really hit me. The full weight of what I'd done. I hadn't just lost my relationship. I'd damaged Sarah in ways that would take years to heal. I'd made her question everything she believed about love, about herself, about whether she was worthy of loyalty. The woman who used to light rooms with her smile was now in therapy, trying to rebuild her sense of self-worth. Because I'd felt invisible at work. Because I'd wanted someone to notice my struggle. 3 months later, I saw Sarah at a coffee shop. She was with friends, laughing at something one of them said. For a moment, she looked like the woman I'd fallen in love with, happy, radiant, alive. Then she saw me, her face went completely blank. She said something to her friends and they all turned to look at me. The judgment in their eyes was suffocating. Sarah gathered her things and left through the back exit. She couldn't even be in the same room as me. I apologized one more time. To tell her how sorry I was, how much I regretted everything. But I'd promised to stay out of her. It was the only promise I hadn't broken. So I sat there, alone at my table, watching through the window as the only person who'd ever truly seen me walked away forever. The books I thought I'd been carrying were nothing compared to this weight. The weight of knowing that my selfishness had broken someone else's ability to trust love. The weight of realizing that when I'd reached for what I thought I deserved, I'd destroyed what I actually needed. Emma had made me feel seen for a few hours. But Sarah had seen me for 6 years and loved me anyway. She'd seen my flaws, my insecurities, my struggles, and chosen me every single day, until I gave her no choice but to walk away. Now I live with the knowledge that somewhere out there, the best person I've ever known is having to rebuild her entire sense of self, because I was too selfish to appreciate what I had. The heaviest books I'll ever carry are the ones filled with her memories, her trust, her love that I weigh for nothing. And when I finally fell under that weight, nobody walked past me without caring. They walked past me because I'd proven I wasn't worth caring about.